Welcome again to the lecture series, The Ascended Master Answer the Fundamental Questions of Life. This lesson is entitled Lesson 9, Part 4, The Poseidonis Civilization. Poseidonis was the name of an island located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It was the last surviving remnant of the original continent of Atlantis. It occupied a central portion of Atlantis, and the Azores and the Madeira Islands were part of the highest mountain ranges of Poseidonis. Both the Meru civilization and the Poseidonis civilization reached their apex during the time period from 12,000 BC to 10,000 BC. Life in Poseidonis. 14,000 years ago, Poseidonis reached a high state of attainment, both as to spiritual development and scientific achievement. A great master of light was at the head of its government. Its state of accomplishment was maintained until about 10,500 BC, when the decline of the civilization began, culminating in a catastrophe that occurred around 10,000 BC. The people living in this area were able to precipitate many things they needed, including food and clothing. They sat at their table, and the food they required appeared in front of them. Technology was very much advanced. The Poseidonis civilization had worldwide contact through airships. Among other places, they traveled to Yellowstone Park, which is in Wyoming, United States, and to Meru. Were there warnings before the cataclysm took place? Yes. Before every major cataclysm, great efforts are made by the masters to acquaint the people with the truth. At the time of the sinking of Poseidonis, only 500 out of 60 million people gave credence to the words of truth. That was not enough to hold the balance. 5 years before Poseidonis sank, the masters alerted the people as to the coming events. This dictation checks with a 5-year warning given to the Meru civilization. Both messages were given by different messengers, namely Mr. Ballard and Miss Innocenti, about 28 years apart. The master said that the people of Poseidonis lost faith in the people of the true white order, and that action severed the anchor to the island. The Exodus. The ascended beings preserved buildings, entire cities, records, formulas, and whatever they wished to keep by hermetically sealing them at the bottom of the Atlantic. They will bring them forth in the new age just ahead, revealing the truth of Atlantis' perfection to all. The high priests of the temples were notified by the spiritual hierarchy to gather all the priceless treasures from the temples in which they officiated, and to load them into the vessels anchored into the harbors. Thus the preparation for the exodus of the members of the White Order and their followers began. Quietly and unhurriedly, the guardians of the Atlantean age prepared for the final hour when they would be required to leave their beloved Poseidonis. Every leader was given sealed orders containing the destination of his boat. Each destination was pre-selected to be a haven of safety, which would not be affected by the cataclysm. In this manner, the truth and knowledge of Ascended Master teaching was preserved for generations yet to come. The priest's preparation included taking the flames from the altars and carrying them, and also the sacred documents containing the content of many conferences, to places of safety. Those priests and chelas who remained true to the White Order were made aware of the date when Poseidonis was to sink. At a pre-arranged hour at night, the followers of the White Order loaded their boats with those temple treasures they were able to wrest from the hands of the greedy priesthood. 100 sailboats equipped with oars were manned. All boats carried 40 volunteers, among them a priest. Upon leaving the shore, the leader of each boat opened the sealed orders. These documents contained the destiny of each boat. The priest Hilarion, who later was Paul, one of Jesus' disciples, was asked to carry the flame of truth across the Atlantic Ocean through the Mediterranean into Greece. The priest Serapis Bey and his group was to carry the ascension flame to Luxor, Egypt. Those who guarded the flame of liberty were directed to carry it to the southern France. It was the task of the boats to arrive at a place of safety before the ocean would be churned into the boiling sea by the cataclysmic action that no boat could survive. One ascended master explained, of the 100 boats that left Poseidonis, only 10 arrived. Time and karmic conditions were such that the cosmic moment could not wait the arrival of the vessels at their locations if they were delayed beyond a certain date for any reason. The treasures of Poseidonis were taken to different parts of the globe. Records were taken to Egypt, Tibet, China, and other parts of the Far East. Some of the Atlantean records later found their way to the library in Alexandria, where ultimately most of them suffered destruction by fire. The records not carried to Alexandria have remained intact. These will come forth in the near future when the viciousness, bigotry, and intolerance of the orthodox mind is dissolved to a point where they will not meet with destruction. I have compiled a list of the boats who safely reached their destination. One boat, under the direction of Serapis Bey, arrived at Luxor. One boat, under the direction of Hilarion, arrived at Crete. One boat, under the direction of Paul the Venetian, arrived in southern France. At least one boat sailing westward arrived in Mexico. At least one boat sailing westward arrived in Peru. At least one boat sailing westward arrived at the Easter Islands. At least one boat sailing westward arrived in Asia. Hilarion and his group arrived safely at Crete, which at that time was connected to the mainland of Greece. Hilarion established the flame of truth there. This focus was later used to bring forth the Temple of Truth at Crete and the oracles of Delphi in Greece. Subsequent earth changes after the Poseidonis catastrophe disconnected Greece from the mainland. The flame of truth is kept within the Temple of Truth. This flame has been accepted by the Ascended Master Teaching Foundation as its logo, and it appears on all AMTF publications. One master said, "Thus the last remaining fragment of a once worldwide empire sank, to rest for purification beneath the present Atlantic Ocean. Some of today's myths and legend point to the earlier times of glory." the masters concluded that in time indisputable proofs both as to Atlantis' existence and its height of attainment will be revealed by oceanography, geology, and other scientific data. Here's a note. Other historical events based on the dictations of the Ascended Masters may be found in the 300-page AMTF book, Man is Origin, History and Destiny. This book may be ordered from the webpage www.ascendedmaster.org. Among the subjects discussed in this book are the creation of man, the first two golden ages, the Garden of Eden, man's advent on earth, man in the Garden of Eden, the fall of man, consequences of the fall, effect on individual man, the age of man, two eyewitness reports of an Egyptian priest describing his escape from the Poseidonis catastrophe to Egypt. This concludes Lesson 9, The Unrecorded History of Mankind. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it, and that we will meet soon again for Lesson 10, which is entitled The Spiritual Hierarchy of Our Planet.